everyone, good evening and welcome to this week's edition of the Pete Mezzetti Show. Tonight, it's Town of Old Saybrook night, and with me to discuss what's going on with the Town of Old Saybrook Fire Department is Max Sabrin, who's the communications person for the Old Saybrook Fire Department. Mr. Max, welcome, my friend. How are you?
I'm very, very good, Pete. Thank you so much for having me down.
Good to see you. It's been a while.
It's been a while. No good events recently until this one is close to my heart.
I know. Well, let's talk about it. What's going on?
Well,
we see food.
Yeah, this is for the 8th annual Shoreline Fire Department food drive. It's
Okay.
Old Saybrook with 7 other departments, and there is no feeling in the world like helping someone in need. It's a terrific feeling, and for firefighters to take time from their personal time on a Saturday with their firefighters' kids and spouses to give up 4 hours to collect food for those in need, and you know it's a surprising fact that you would think on the shoreline, but the numbers are pretty staggering.
Wow.
Yeah.
So when is the event?
It's Saturday, April 27th. Hopefully we'll have great weather.
Okay.
And it's from 9 a.m. till 1 o'clock. And I had to take my JIP sheet to help me out with the participating departments.
Okay.
And it's going to be the Old Saybrook Fire Department. Also, we'll have volunteers at Stop and Shop, Westbrook Fire Department, Essex Fire Department, Colonial Market, Clinton Fire Department and Stop and Shop in Clinton, North Madison Fire Department at Roberts Food Market,
Yep.
Chester Fire Department, and Deep River, and it's just a great cause for the Shoreline Soup Kitchen, which I know has been here many times.
Absolutely.
It's a great organization, and this year is 30 years. They were founded in 1989, and this year is their 30th anniversary.
Wow.
So they've been doing the right thing for the 30th anniversary, and it's fantastic. And 11 towns participate with the Shoreline Soup Kitchen,
Okay.
which individuals, almost close to 8,000 individuals are registered, which is pretty enormous numbers. The Shoreline Soup Kitchen takes care of Essex, Chester, Clinton, Madison, Old Saybrook, East Lyme, Old Lyme, Lyme, Killingworth, Westbrook, and Deep River. Last year, almost 1 million meals were provided from the Shoreline Soup Kitchen. They do not get funding from the federal government or state government. It's the viewers of this show,
Okay.
businesses, faith communities, and local foundations that provide money and donated food for the pantries. So it's
Very worthwhile organization.
and it's all volunteer. I think they have close to 900 volunteers helping out at the pantries and the places that provide dinners as well. And this kind of shocked me. So there was a study in 2018 from United Way that over 30% struggle to make ends meet. That's
Yeah.
for the shoreline, but elderly on fixed income, and it's just a personal pet peeve of mine, knowing in my country, my state, my city, town should be hungry.
Exactly.
And whatever we can do to help, and it's early enough now from tonight's viewing to do a drive at school, at work, at your place of worship, collect some food and bring it down to one of the participating firehouses.
Speaking of participating firehouses, I understand, especially you in the town of Old Saybrook,
Yeah.
for the food drive for the day, you're going to have a cast of characters.
Oh yeah, we heard through the grapevine. It hasn't been confirmed yet, but
Yes.
Pete Mezzetti, I believe, is coming down.
But not only is Pete Mezzetti showing up, who else is going to show up?
Chief Meteorologist Gil Simmons,
Okay.
News 8, and Lee Elsey from 94.9 News Now. And not only do they volunteer, they run to those cars and
Oh yeah.
they work.
Of course they do.
They work, and
We just don't stand around, drink coffee, and hang out.
No, they hustle, and
Exactly.
and people from not only the shoreline come from all over the state to see particularly Gil. Not me, not you, not Lee, but everybody wants to
Hang out with Gil Simmons.
Shake hands with Gil Simmons.
Absolutely.
He's a sweetheart, great guy.
He is.
And we appreciate him. This is like his 3rd or 4th year helping out, and he does a terrific job, and he likes it.
Yeah. How did you get involved with the food drive?
Well, back in when Jody Rell, was governor, She did a statewide campaign called Day of Compassion. I think it was 2011. I'm not really July.
Okay.
And it was almost every firehouse in the state of Connecticut. It was in the heart of the recession, and every firehouse, volunteer and paid, did it, and it was phenomenal to help the Connecticut food banks at all the participating pantries and Shoreline Soup Kitchen, and it was really good. So Shoreline Soup Kitchen saw how successful it was, and they said, "Oh, fire department, and the need is local, so let's do Connecticut Shoreline Fire Department food drive," and it's worked out really, really well.
And from what I understand, we also have media partners for the event. Who are they?
This year, exclusively for the first time, News 8, WTNH is our official media partner.
Okay.
And they've been very, very kind and helpful to get the word out. So it's good. And I just want to emphasize what the most needed items are.
Yeah, go for it.
We have a little sample. This is actually a small sample of what we need.
I was going to say, we got a good amount of product here.
So any canned items, anything that can stay on the shelf, canned tuna, canned soup, any fruits, juice and vegetables, peanut butter and jelly, pasta and sauce and rice, breakfast cereal and oatmeal, and of course, cash or checks. So when you go to the supermarket and you think of, oh, this is on sale, you know what, let me get an extra one, let me get an extra two. And what's great about the viewers and people who donate, they don't just bring down a can of soup. They bring a shopping bag of cans of product. And it just, I got to tell you that there's many times where I got chills and tears of people just coming down and from little kids, running on. And it's great upbringing for them.
I was going to say, I've actually worked a couple food drives for a couple of local nonprofits here and around the area. I was at one food drive last spring in Clinton for one of the local nonprofits, and people are bringing out this, that, the other thing. Woman goes in, brings out a bag of groceries. She's like, "I'll be back in a few minutes." Okay, sure. Comes back a few minutes later. "I forgot a couple things." So goes back in. She comes back out not only with her things, with a grocery carriage full of a donation. She was like, here's what I needed, but this is for you guys. I'm like, oh my God.
It's amazing.
It is.
The generosity of people that are able to do it. And what's really, really sad is there are people who, there was one couple in particular that used to donate, the husband and wife, and the wife lost her job, and then a few months later the husband lost his job. So they became from donators to participants of receiving food. Right. So you never know how things change in the family, from loss of a job or an illness in the family that cuts back on expenses. So, again, no one should be hungry. And then, I help out a couple that doesn't have a car, an elderly couple that's on fixed income, and they're just a couple of bucks over the requirement for food stamps, but they just want to keep the lights on and pay their mortgage. So I've gone for them and picked up stuff, and they're so appreciative of the help. It just, I never got so much hugs and kisses in my life from helping people out. So it's a great feeling. It is.
What else do we want to tell people about the food drive?
Well, this year, besides News 8, I have to give a shout out to Stop and Shop. I asked them for samples for a prop, and they gave me almost $100 worth of stuff to show and tell, and then also to donate to the food drive.
Wow.
Mercena's is providing lunch for our volunteers. And a big shout out for Shaw Publishing is donating 3 weeks of an ad in, I think, 3 different papers, which was fantastic because it lays out what we need, where the locations are, and they were just so incredible of community service. I can't thank them enough, Shaw Publishing and the other papers that they have. But good, it's just a good all around feeling. Again, there is no better feeling in the world than helping someone that you don't know, helping out, and it's just a great feeling. And we encourage everyone to go to the supermarket and just whatever's on sale that's non-perishable, start collecting and bring it on down.
Okay. Max, would you mind sticking around for another segment?
For you, yes, I would.
All right, we'll be right back.
slow down.
Slow down and move over.
And move over.
When you see lights,
vests,
or reflectors,
please give us some room. Slow down and move over.
when you need us,
We've got your back.
Do you have ours?
You got our back?
You got ours? You got our back?
Please, slow down.
And move over.
Are you ready to go? We don't want to be late. What's more important than tonight?
Registering to be an organ donor.
We have to leave in 3 minutes.
Perfect. It only took 2 minutes.
Really? It only takes 2 minutes?
In the next 2 minutes, what are you doing? If you've ever thought of becoming an organ donor but haven't, now may be the perfect time to pick up your phone and do it.
I should do that.
And welcome back to this week's edition of the Pete Mezzetti Show. Sitting here with Max Sabrin from the Old Saybrook Fire Department. Max, welcome back.
Thanks very much.
Thanks,
Pete.
buddy. So, before we get on to talk about fire department stuff, let's talk about the food drive one more time. Where, when, what time?
Sure.
What are we looking for?
Saturday, April 27th, 9 a.m. till 1 p.m. at the participating firehouses. For additional information, go to oldsaybrookfire.com. All the firehouses participating in the items we need. And I forgot to mention, Essex Bank on Main Street in Old Saybrook is collecting food, the Essex Savings Bank,
Yep.
until 12 o'clock Saturday. So
Nice.
it's a very convenient location. So oldsaybrookfire.com for additional information and what we need and where to go.
There we go. What are some, like we talked about this during the first segment, but what are some of the most common items that people are going to want to donate?
Any canned item,
Okay.
canned tuna, breakfast product,
Cereal.
breakfast cereal, oatmeal, pasta and sauce.
Something that has longevity on the shelf.
Absolutely. The canned soup, canned vegetables, fruit, juices in cans or jar or bottles. And
Nothing perishable.
something like it lasts, and
Yeah.
whatever you would feed your family.
Exactly.
That's what we want.
Exactly. And now there's another part of Max Sabrin that people don't know about.
Right.
That's the fire department side
That's the fire department
of
side.
Max Sabrin. Let's talk about the fire department side.
Well, first and foremost, we promoting the slow down, move over, which there's a lot of confusion on what that actually is.
Okay, let's talk about it.
And in the United States and in Connecticut, not Connecticut per se with the facts, but every single day, firefighters, police officers, EMS workers, tow truck drivers, and highway workers are either injured or killed by people not slowing down and moving over.
Okay.
We understand there's times where you can't move over, which is acceptable, but if it's 65 miles an hour, bring it down to 50 or 40. Slow down, prepare to stop, give us room to work, because when you see lights or vests, it's just imperative that you give us some space to help save someone in there in a car crash or medical or a car fire. So
Yeah, absolutely.
And it's important. I can't stress enough, because I got to tell you, it's a scary feeling. So we have your back, have our back, and give us room to work safely.
I was going to say, because if they don't slow down or move over, that means if you guys are out there trying to work an accident, you guys have to do your jobs.
It'll be another accident, and you can see all the damages of fire trucks that take the hit better than firefighters getting hurt or killed. So
Exactly.
it's just slow down, and if you can, please safely move over.
Absolutely. So what else is going on in the fire department?
So besides our town of Old Saybrook,
Yes.
other towns are in not dire needs per se, but people change jobs, they move, they get things in their life change. So we're always on the lookout for junior firefighters, which is 15 to 17-year-olds, high school kids.
Okay.
Probies, probationary officers, which is 18 and over, and your local firehouse in your town. It's the camaraderie is fantastic. The training is priceless. It's the guys and gals that are involved with volunteer fire services is incredible, and whether it's a fire police, which I am, fire police officer, which is protecting our guys and gals from in a scene and our equipment, but a firefighter. And again, every month we train and we respond to any type of call you can realize when you dial 911, whether it's a smoke detector or a tree down on wires. So, but it's a team spirit. You get to learn an incredible amount of information, and it's you can use it for, besides fire service, you can use it in your own personal life of safety, and one of the things I can't stress enough is make sure your house has working smoke detectors and CO detectors. If you don't know how old your detector is, the shelf life, I believe, on a smoke detector is 7 to 10 years on a smoke detector. CO detector is 5 to 7 years. If you're not sure, it's the least expensive insurance policy you can have, because when there's working smoke detectors, that's when people's lives are saved. When I hear on the news there's a fatal fire, 99% of the time there was not a working detector, which is really unacceptable in someone's residence, because that's the only thing that'll save you.
And obviously the other important thing that we want to talk about when we talk about smoke detectors is make sure you change your batteries.
Right, at least twice a year. I mean, the new ones, granted, they have the 10-year battery, the brand new ones, and even if they're hardwired for electricity, in case of a blackout, you still need the battery backup. So if there's no electricity, you still have a working detector. So I can't. It's something that's taken for granted. I know people, and I've done it myself, pulled the battery because I was cooking and I burned something and the smoke detector was annoying, went off, but put that battery back and don't forget, because that's the thing between life and death of a working detector.
My mom did that not long ago. We had for Thanksgiving. My mom's one of 9. So for the holidays, we have anywhere between 26 and 32.
Wow.
For dinner. So after dinner, we were all sitting around the kitchen table talking, doing this. My mom had something in the oven, and my uncle looks at me, he's like, "What smells charred?" I'm like, "I don't know." So she turns around and I'm like, "What?" What's extra crispy and smoky? She was like, "I don't know." So he turns around. She made an apple pie.
Oh no, my favorite.
Opens the oven, the flame comes shooting out of the oven. I jump up, open every door in the house, the sliding door, the front door.
The smoke detector go off?
About 3 seconds later, beep, 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 beep. And I ran upstairs, and she was like, "Did they all go off?" I'm like, "The ones upstairs went off. She was like, "The ones down here went off." I'm like, my dad was like, "Hey, at least they work." I'm like, He's like, "And you and I changed the batteries in these things not long ago." I'm like, he's like, "Good thing, huh?" I'm like, "Uh-huh."
Oh yeah, oh yeah. I mean, but the most dangerous part is overnight while you're sleeping, those things will wake you up. And,
of course they will.
Whether it's electrical or if you have an attached garage, this time of year, people don't know with people having golf carts in their garage. Emits fumes, so that sets off the CO detectors too. So
really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Most people don't.
I didn't know
so
that.
So it's if you ever charging a golf cart, make sure it's outside, not in a closed space with the windows and door closed. So people don't know that we're coming into season now where the golf carts are being used on the beach.
Now tell us a little bit about the smoke detectors with the 10-year batteries. Are they? Like, how do you know if does the battery goes dead after 10 years, or does it just stop?
It's you could test it every month, but normally they're dated inside when you open up, they're dated of when it was installed. Either it comes from the manufacturer, or with a Sharpie you write down date of installation. But it's so important. I shake my head and I really get upset when I hear of an injury or fatal a fire because there wasn't, or CO detector, and that was another thing, whether it's a faulty hot water heater or heating system or but it's really no excuse, not having a work, that they're not expensive.
No. Now what is it? What is this? carbon monoxide detector, and how's it work? What is a CO detector, and how's it work?
It picks up odorless gas, whether
Gases,
it's
yeah.
natural gas or let's say you have a attached, the garage is part of your home, and you left the car running.
Right.
So you won't realize it when the detector will pick it up, and it's saved many lives because people have done it. They were in a rush and they ran out of the car without shutting it off, and the detector picked up the fumes because you really didn't realize it. And but water heaters, whether they're gas water heaters, if the gas goes out or if there's a leak, and if on a heating system, if there's blockage on the vents, or there's just needs routine maintenance or service, or there's a tear in the line, that'll set off with the detector also. So it's imperative to have working detectors, CO. I personally I recommend having separate units. A lot of people want the combination CO smoke detector, but if one goes bad, you don't have to get rid of the whole thing. You just replace the smoke or CO. When one goes bad in the combo, then you have to replace the whole thing again. So I recommend having separate, have a separate carbon monoxide detector and a separate smoke detector. Really important.
So exactly, as a fire policeman for the town of Old Saybrook, what do you do?
We're the first one there and the last one to leave.
Okay.
Which is rain, sleet, or snow, and it's really important to keep the equipment, and more importantly than the equipment is our guys and gals that are working a fire or an accident from vehicles or civilians wanting to see what's going on, because there's a zone of where equipment is going and water is going and hoses are being laid, so we need space to work. So we try to keep as much safe space, so because if a hose ever gets away, it's a lot of pressure of water that you'll get hit with. But so it's important, and also it's just good sense. Everyone wants to know what's going on, but you want to know what's going on at a safe distance. Trust me, it's like people want to drive through where power lines are down. We don't go driving through when power lines are down because you assume those lines are live. And there was an incident, as a matter of fact, in New Jersey, where the road was closed with cones because power lines were down, and a person went around the cones through standing water. There was a live power line. That car exploded. That person was killed. So if a road is closed, do not go down that road.
No, don't do it.
Yeah. So it was really something that was unfortunate, but you have to obey, all traffic safety, and it's for our safety, but it's for your safety also, for the driver.
Wow, so basically listen to your local fire department and tell them.
Yeah. Listen, we don't want to be inconvenienced by not able to go through. Also, we want to go straight, but sometimes you have to use a detour and go around. It's not. We're not happy about it, but it's for your safety. You don't want to go down where other lines can come down, other power lines, particularly, or there's a gas leak, which for evacuation, and we've had many of those calls, which is a dangerous situation. You want to keep your distance. Trust me. We stay away. We wait for the gas company or Eversource for the power lines.
Yeah.
But it's important to, and we have a great relationship with the local police, town of Old Saybrook, and the fire department. We work as really one unit. Which is very, very comforting, because there's a lot of towns where it's like we're in charge. No, we're one unit.
We're one group.
Yeah, safety is paramount for all involved. For the police officers and firefighters and the general public.
And from what I hear, you guys have a new chief in the town of Old Saybrook.
Oh yeah, the fire chief is Joe Johnson. He just got elected his second term, doing a great job.
What's he like?
Very, very good. He came up. Talk about working your way up. He came in as a junior out of high school and worked his way up from junior firefighter to regular firefighter to a line officer, and eventually chief. So he did all his necessary training at the fire academy and in-house, and doing a great job. Very, very well liked, and doing excellent work for the again, keeping our guys trained and safe.
That's a good thing.
Oh yeah,
That's a good thing.
What's that expression? The way you practice is the way you play. So
Exactly.
we train on a monthly basis and quarterly basis, and it's real important to keep your skills honed.
Totally. Before we loop around to, we're going to mention the food drive one more time.
Sure.
What else? Anything else you'd like to mention about the firehouse?
No, just check by your local fire department for any needs for firefighter, fire police officer. The state of Connecticut and a volunteer department need you. What is that? We want you.
Exactly.
And there's some great videos online to see behind the scenes, and the training is really good, and you get to learn a lot, and you're with an awesome bunch of guys and gals. I mean, really, really good.
One more time, information on the food drive.
Sure.
When?
It's Saturday, April 27th, 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. And the participating firehouses will be on oldsaybrookfire.com.
Okay.
And while you check out your flyers on sale, just grab some extra items and bring them down to the participating firehouses. And a big shout out and thanks for all the sponsors and the media, and particularly you. I mean, you do a great job of getting the word out for us, and your audience is amazing, because when they come down, we ask how they heard about it, and they said the Pete Mezzetti show. It's
There
like,
you
wow,
go.
Good job.
Max Sabrin, we're out of time. Hopefully we'll have you on again soon.
I hope so.
See you soon. On behalf of Max Sabrin, I'm Pete Mezzetti. Thanks again. We'll see you next time.